Mortgage rates remained on the lower end of what we've been seeing the last couple of months, but we still seem to be seeing downward pressure on sale prices in Portland metro real estate, at least so far this month. Is this something seasonal, a bit of buyer fatigue, continued affordability problems? Let's take a look at the numbers. Welcome to Real Estate with Ron. I'm Ron Milligan, owner and managing broker of RE/MAX Select here in Portland. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are new to the channel, it would make my day if you would like this video, or maybe share it with a friend, or maybe even subscribe to the channel so that you can see more videos like this in your feed and make sure that you're one of the first to learn about changes in our real estate market. Now on with the show. The average sale price in Portland Metro is up by 2% compared to both the previous week and roughly the same time period last year. That's not great news for buyers who are facing affordability problems, but it's also not great news for homeowners who are nervous about their equity, mainly because a 2% increase in equity from last year to this year is below the current rate of inflation. Like I said last week, it looks like we're starting to see home price compression in our year-over-year numbers, and I'll be keeping a close eye on this. Do keep in mind that this is for our full metro-wide sample of sales, and all real estate is local. Some areas are doing better than others. Demand seems to be holding on, but it did falter a bit compared to last year. For the first time in about 6 weeks, the number of purchase contracts agreed to by buyers and sellers was less than what we saw during roughly the same time frame last year. It was still a pretty strong number, just not quite as strong as we might like it to be. The supply of homes is still rising, as it typically does this time of year. We did see a pretty healthy number of homes hitting the market this last week, but the year-over-year margins really haven't changed much. For the third week straight, buyers have had 32% more homes to choose from versus last year at this time. So generally what that means is if buyers had 3 homes that fit their criteria in 2023, this year they should have 4 to choose from. Let's talk about mortgage rates. At the end of last week, the best mortgage rate I could find advertised for the 30-year fixed was 6.375%. That's pretty much what we have right now, but keep in mind that's a best case scenario. Most borrowers will end up with a rate that's a little bit higher than this, and there's a wide range of rates among lenders. The average of what lenders are offering is probably somewhere around the high 6s. Last week we had better than expected reports on inflation and employment, and that pushed rates down. What's new this week? Well, if you recall, last week the Fed announced that they were only anticipating 1 rate cut before the end of this year, down from the previous expectation of 3 cuts. The only big piece of information we got this week came in the form of an announcement from one of the Fed board members who said that that 1 rate cut that we're going to see this year will probably only come in December. So like I said last week, we're probably going to have rates in the 6s for a while. No big changes in the number of distressed properties on the market. We saw a slight increase in the numbers of pre-foreclosure and bank-owned properties, but the numbers are still well within the margins that we've been seeing over the past 18 months or so. On average, sellers had to discount a little more than 2% off of their original asking price in order to secure the successful sale of their homes. That's not too bad, but keep in mind that sellers are likely also giving buyers other concessions beyond this, like paying for closing costs, performing repairs, or buying home warranties for the buyer's benefit. That's very different from the recent frenzy market years where buyers were getting no concessions at all and paying way over the asking price. Well, you made it to the end of the report. I hope that you found today's report informative and helpful. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or reach out to me directly. I do appreciate you joining me for this week's report, and I look forward to seeing you right here next week.